Hello. This is a long form video, very different from what I normally do, but I do want to try making more longer form stuff because I think it's more fun and more like I can engage with people more, you know? It's less like, here's a quick drawing, boom. It's more like, here I am, and here I am drawing, you know? So I'm gonna be drawing Kyōka and Kenji today from like my little Bungo series, you know? Let me find it. Right here, this is it. So far these are all that we've done. I don't know why I didn't continue doing this. Like, I kind of took a really long break. I think I just got busy and I wanted to draw other stuff. But I actually really want to keep drawing this because I want to draw Octagawa, and with Octagawa I want to draw Atsushi, and then Ronpo, and obviously here I am drawing Kenji and Kyōka because somebody requested them, and I was like, yeah, I'll draw them, it'll be fun. Yeah, I actually really like how these turned out, but it's been a while since I've done them, so here we are today, doing it up here. So I already sketched these out. I'm gonna be using probably like these, just like a 1, a 2, and a 0.5. So I guess I'll just get started. I'll just kind of line art it. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of fun. Y'all can like see what I do, I guess. I don't know, it's not anything really special, but it's definitely fun. Hello, this is me in a voiceover because I am going to need to do one. Throughout the entire drawing process for like 45 minutes, it's just me like talking and occasionally bringing up some random topic, generally about Bungo stray dogs, and then completely forgetting what I was talking about and just going completely silent. There is no consistency and it's really funny, but it's really hard to listen to. Oh my goodness. There was like multiple times throughout the recording, it pauses and it's just me like talking about something, forgetting what I was talking about, going completely silent because I'm focused on drawing, and then saying, man, I think I'll probably need to do a voiceover. Nah, we'll just see how this goes. I need to do a voiceover. It was really bad. Here, I'll play a clip. At the beginning, it was because he hated having to read the Scarlet Letter in like high school or something. So he's hating on Nathaniel Hawthorne, right? And I just... Is that it? Am I done with Kyōka? Yeah, I think I need to do a voiceover. Now, imagine that for 45 minutes. So I guess I'll explain what I was talking about there. That seems like a good conversation starter. I was talking about the Danny Mata Bungo Stray Dogs reactions. Those are literally my favorite things in the entire world. They're so funny to me. Oh my gosh. Maybe it's just because I was addicted to Bungo Stray Dogs. I mean, like, let's be real, I totally still am. But, like, that was when I just barely finished reading, like, all of the manga that was out so far. And I've actually only read the physical copies of it, so I haven't read any of the stuff online. And I know, okay, spoilers for online manga. I know that Verlaine is back. And I'm so happy because I totally read Stormbringer and I was like obsessed with it because Chuya is my favorite. I am in love with Chuya and I was so happy. But of course, getting spoilers is kind of frustrating. I was sitting there, I was like, man, I wish I got to know this like on my own, but I don't really care that much. I'm just happy that Verlaine is back. I suspected that he probably would be, so it's really fun. It's really fun. But anyway, I guess I'm not really better at staying on track in a voiceover than I am while I'm drawing, but at least I can hold a conversation, I suppose. So, the Danny Mata Bungo Stray Dogs reactions, I was really into them. I was injured, so I run cross-country and track, and I was injured and I couldn't run very much, so I had to cross-train like every single day. And I hated it. Oh my gosh, cross-training is the death of me. It was so annoying and so frustrating. But the only thing that got me through it is knowing that I could watch the Danny Mata Bungo Stray Dogs reactions while I was cross-training. It was amazing. It was so funny. Oh my golly gee goodness. But he hated Nathaniel Hawthorne. And that was one thing that I thought was so funny. And I actually had a friend that read the Scarlet Letter, or at least she started reading the Scarlet Letter. She said it was really boring. I thought that Danny Mata was totally overplaying it. I have not personally read the Scarlet Letter, so I cannot speak on this from my own account. But if it's that boring, why? Is it really that boring? Like, I feel like we hold it so highly as, like, a piece of literature. I need to get her on when I draw Kenji, because, sorry, spoiler, I didn't make it to Kenji. This Kyōka drawing took me, like, a really long time. I need to get my friend on, though, and have her yap about the Scarlet Letter. She didn't even finish reading it, actually. She made it really far, though. I love reading the works that the original authors in Bungo Stray Dogs made. I think Bungo got me this really weird obsession with historical authors, which honestly, you know, if I feel like that's probably what Kafka Asagiri wanted the most, because at the end of like some of the volumes, just on occasion, there'll just be random essays written about some of the authors. And honestly, he got me to read No Longer Human, not because I was simping for Dazai, because I read his review of the book in the back of one of the Bungo volumes. I think it was volume 3, and I was like, that sounds like an interesting book. So I bought No Longer Human, I read it, and it banged, bruh. That book was so good. So then I also got The Setting Sun, and that book was also so good. And now Osamu Dazai is my favorite author, and I feel like such a pretentious literary snob because I sit here and I'm like, oh yes, but have you read Osamu Dazai? And I just don't tell anybody that it's because I'm cringe and I only like authors from Bungo Stray Dogs, because I sit here and I have all these interesting stories about all these different authors. Like, I can go on about, like, John Steinbeck and Chuya Nakahara, and I'll just yap about these guys, right? Like obviously, like, the real guys, because I've researched them, because Bungo got me a fascination. There's a car. I don't know if that even picked up on the microphone, but it bothered me. And, like, I just feel, like, so smart when I'm talking to people about these authors and I'm telling them these things. And sometimes when I feel like I want to humble myself, I just end the conversation with saying, yeah, I'm only interested in this because there's this anime and manga series where all the characters are based off of and named off of famous authors. So I'm actually pretty cringe. And I don't know if that makes people respect me more or less, but I say it anyway. Oh, Ryunosuke Akutagawa is also really interesting. I read Rashomon by him. Yeah, let's see. Let's go through all the real life books I've read. I've read Rashomon. I've read No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. I've read For the Tainted Sorrow by Chuya Nakahara, also Sheep Song, which is probably my favorite poem by him. I think my two favorite poems of all time are Sheep Song by Chuya Nakahara, which I found because of Bungo Stray Dogs. For those that don't know, that's the poem that Chuya recites when he goes into his corrupted form. Goodness, I'm so cringe, but it's the one where it goes, "Oh, grantors of dark disgrace, need not wake me again." Like, whatever. Like, I love it so much. I love Chuya.
Grantors of dark disgrace, you need not wake me again.
Yeah, but I've read that one. I've read a few other Chuya Nakahara poems, just like I read The Setting Sun, but nothing mentioned in Bungo. But my two favorite poems of all time are Sheep Song by Chuya Nakahara and Annabelle Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. I have not read, I forget what the book is called. Is it just called The Rue Morgue? Or is it called Black Cat in the Rue Morgue? I know that that's the name of his skill, but I feel like the book is named something a little different. I have not read that by Edgar Allan Poe, but I have read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe poems. And I really, really like his short story, Telltale Heart. That story bangs tremendously. And I have read Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, though I hate to report that I have not read Grapes of Wrath, nor am I really wanting to. It just looks kind of long. But Of Mice and Men was really, really good. I really enjoyed that. And I'm going to be reading The Great Gatsby soon, which I'm really excited about. You know, this whole author fixation, I found an outlet for it. I actually have a podcast with my friend. It's called Author I Hardly Know Her. And it's not that good. I think it's really fun though, and I think it could be very interesting for anybody that is interested in hearing about the authors. Essentially, every episode we pick a random author. Like, our most recent one was John Steinbeck, but we've also done a Dazai and a Chuya episode, though I will explain some faults with those ones in a minute. But basically, we pick an author, we explain their life, I do a bunch of research on their life, and then I explain their life, and then we explain, like, some fun or some silly stories, just, like, some fun facts about the author. Oftentimes, there's stories that will relate to Bungo Stray Dogs. I couldn't find any really in John Steinbeck's life, but at least for Dazai and Chuya, a lot of the stories involved Chuya bullying Dazai or Dazai getting bullied by Chuya, and it's so gosh darn cute. They had such an interesting relationship in real life, and it is so funny. But yeah, we do that, and then we start getting into their books, or like whatever books we've read by them. So for John Steinbeck, I've only read Of Mice and Men, so I just talked about Of Mice and Men and my thoughts on the book. Like, I give like a general synopsis of it. For Dazai, I talked about No Longer Human in the Setting Sun. Chuya, we read some poems on the podcast, and then we get into the anime. So until that, we really don't talk about anime, like, at all. So it's really just a literature podcast. It's very stoodly and gives a lot of information. And then we start yapping about anime, and it just goes off the rails. And we talk about how we think it might relate to Bungo Stray Dogs, trying to keep it a little serious. And then sometimes it just goes a little crazy. Like, in the Chuya episodes, we started talking about Bungo logic, which is the term that I use whenever something in Bungo Stray Dogs makes little to no sense, but I love it anyway. And we started talking about how, like, Dazai just became, like, omnipotent for no reason towards the end of Bungo Stray Dogs. And y'all can hate on me for that take. I know people love that. I loved when Dazai became omnipotent. I just thought it was funny and made little to no sense, but I love Bungo Stray Dogs so much. But if you do want to listen to the podcast, no, we'll probably make more episodes soon. And we're going to be redoing the Dazai and the Chuya episodes. So, I mean, you can. The Dazai episode is low-key just, like, unlistenable. So you won't want to listen to that one. It's really bad. The Chuya episode is okay if you really, really have your heart set on listening to it. But it's still really bad. The Steinbeck episode, I think, is actually decently solid. But that's the only good episode we have out so far. So we're going to have to redo the Dazai and the Chuya episode. So I suggest that you don't watch those because we were just trying to get our footing in. But we're going to redo them because Dazai and Chuya have such interesting lives. But if that sounds interesting at all, you can listen to it on Spotify. So 10 out of 10, I highly recommend. I think where Bungo Stray Dogs really shines is in the characters and the characters' interactions. Characters have such unique and great dynamics in Bungo Stray Dogs. Atsushi and Octagawa is amazing, and I love how they're both tied to Dazai, and the same thing could have happened to either of them. And you really see this in Bungo Stray Dogs Beast, if you ever read that one, where their roles are reversed. But it's just that Dazai was in a different point in his life because of Otasaku at both of those points. So at one point, he was pretty evil, and he was in the mafia, so he picked up Octagawa, and now Octagawa is the way that he is because Dazai picked him up when Dazai was in that point in his life. But then later, Dazai picked up Atsushi when he was in a better place. He was a better person trying to help people, and as Otasaku said, he picked up some orphans. And it just made Atsushi grow to have a much better life and a much better environment and become a much better person, with a much healthier relationship with Dazai than Octagawa has. And it's just so interesting, and I thought that was really cool. And I love how much I love how much Octagawa loves Dazai and feels a need to get respect from Dazai. And I hate that Dazai doesn't freaking give it to him, because he literally should. Octagawa is doing such a good job. He's trying so hard. And Atsushi just gets it, even though he doesn't do anything. And I don't think that's fair, but okay, whatever, Dazai. I'm upset with you, but whatever, because Octagawa is the cutest little baby. Him and Chuya are my two favorites, but Chuya is my number one. Octagawa is my number two. And I think it's so cool how other people affect the characters' lives and how it affects how they live their lives. Like, because Dazai picked up Octagawa, he is the way he is, and he feels a need to get respect from Dazai, because Dazai just kept on, like, abusing him and making it so that Octagawa felt like he was worthless, you know? But at the same time, because Dazai brought him into a mafia, Octagawa started to gain this family that he really never had when he was, like, living in the slums. And because of this, Dazai bringing him into the mafia made Dazai sort of a savior to him. So of course he's gonna want Dazai's respect, because Dazai is his hero. He sees Dazai as doing nothing wrong. Dazai is perfect to him, and I think that's so interesting. And to him, being brought to the mafia totally saved him. So he tries to return the favor in his own little emo Octagawa way to Kyōka. And I think it is so interesting when you discover that Octagawa didn't just bring Kyōka into the mafia because he's mean and he's evil and he just wants to indoctrinate more people and attack more people and bring more killers to life. It's because he thought that he was doing some good. He thought that he was helping this girl to find a family and find a home. I just think that's so interesting. It's actually just because she felt the same way that he did, where they just felt like they had no reason left to live, you know? Like, their whole life had fallen apart. All of Octagawa's friends were killed. Kyoka's parents were killed. And Octagawa saw himself in her, and he thought, here's what I can do. I can bring her into the mafia and help her the same way that someone helped me when I was in this exact same position. But with Kyōka, it just didn't work that way, because I guess she just didn't have the same background. She did have a loving family. Octagawa just wasn't that way. I guess they're just different people, you know? And I just love that so much. And in the end, when Octagawa just lets her go, when he realizes that her being in the mafia isn't helping her at all, and that the detective agency is what she really needs, he just lets her go, and he says that he's happy for her, and that is so gosh darn cute. I love Octagawa so much. Wow, I'm gonna be so for real for a second. I just stopped recording, and I came back, and I just played that whole clip again, and I just realized I am really analyzing Bungo Stray Dogs. And I'm gonna be so honest, I think that the way that I analyze it right there is essentially the exact way that Kafka Asagiri meant Bungo Stray Dogs to be received. I think I hardly was even analyzing it. I just said what was there and then gave minor opinions. But dude, Bungo is just so good. But also, I've seen people before, like on YouTube and stuff, that are analyzing Bungo Stray Dogs. And I sit there and I think in my head, is it that deep though? And the way I sounded so, like, deeply passionate about Bungo Stray Dogs, which I am. Wow. I just didn't think that I thought it was that deep, and now I'm realizing, yeah, I think it's that deep. I don't know if that makes any sense. I just never thought that I would be, like, the YouTube Bungo Stray Dogs analyzer, but here I am. Sorry, I just randomly had to cut it because I thought that it was kind of silly. Now back to the initial recording. It's so interesting. And then Ronpo and Po, they have such a fun relationship. That just is pure fun. I love watching Po be like, we are rivals, and then just being really happy, like clearly being the biggest Ronpo fanboy, but convincing himself we are rivals. It's so funny. Speaking of Ronpo, I really, really want to read one of Ronpo's books. I believe it's like something like The Adventures of Aguro Akechi, like Detective Aguro Akechi, which I really want to read because as a Persona 5 fan whose favorite character is Goro Akechi, who is based off of Ronpo's character in that mystery novel, Aguro Akechi, I just want to read it just for the principle of it being Bungo and Persona 5. Oh man, I love it so much. But yeah, and then even like Yosuno's backstory. I'm not that interested in Yosuno as a character. I don't think she's all that interesting. but her backstory was so fun. Kafka Asagiri knows how to do those backstories, bro. Rampo's backstory nearly made me cry, as it did Danny Mata, if we want to go back to those. Chuya's backstory with Stormbringer especially is so cool and so fun. And I think it's so interesting here, like, I guess spoilers for Stormbringer, I'm basically spoiling all of Bungo, but it's fine. Like, I think it's so interesting how Chuya thinking that there was a chance that he was a robot affected him so much, even though it literally didn't matter if he was or not. And I kind of loved that. At first I was reading it and I was like, why does it matter if you're a robot or not? Then I realized that that's probably the point, is that it doesn't matter. He's just convincing himself that it is. He's convincing himself because this little thing feels like it should matter. It does. Even though he acts the exact same, he still is essentially a human, even if he's not. And I just think that's so interesting. It reminded me of Pluto and Blade Runner. And it was so good. Also, I guess we can't talk about dynamics without bringing up Chuya Nakahara and Osamu Dazai. I love them so much. They are so cute, especially if you read their backstory. I love, like, them growing together and then eventually going their separate ways is so sad, but they can still, like, be there. I love that they love each other, but they just also love to hate each other. I love that so much. And it's so fun. It is so fun. And I love Chuya and Octagawa being able to bond like they did. Yes, I am one of those people that read way too much into that scene at the end of Dead Apple where Chuya is sitting there and he asks Octagawa to get his hat for him and tells him that if he's looking for Dazai, Dazai is fine. And I love the idea that they can both bond over having this toxic relationship with Dazai. And I love it so much. And I just want Octagawa and Chuya to have the relationship that Dazai and Atsushi have. I want Chuya to become Octagawa's new Dazai. I know he told, like, Fukushi, he was like, no one can replace Dazai. But I want Chuya to replace Dazai in his life, please. It'll be healthier for you. It'll be healthier for you. It'll be more enjoyable and exciting for me, and I'll be so happy. I feel like they would have, like, the cutest relationship of all time. Like, so cute. Like, all the official art, too, is just of, like, Chuya and Octagawa hanging out, and I'm like, why can't this, like, it's real because it's official art, but why can't it actually be real? Why can't it be in the story? Please. But anyway, sorry. Back to Yoshino. I kind of got distracted talking about backstories. But I'm not into her that much as a character. I think her backstory is such a cool story. Like, it is so cool. And it didn't make me like her that much more, because I still think she's kind of boring. But it definitely made me appreciate every time she's around Rampo. Because I loved the idea that Rampo was the one that helped get her into the detective agency, and that he saved her that way, and he found her butterfly. How did he do that? I don't know. That's some Bungo logic for you, but I love it so much. And every time they're on screen together, I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He saved her. It's so cute. Oh my golly gee goodness. Yeah, so Bungo Stray Dogs. Sorry, I'm looking up at my manga. I own all of the manga that's out right now. I only own the physical copies. I have not read the online manga, so tragically I'm stuck here waiting until January when I can get volume 26, but I am so freaking excited. Oh my gosh. Sigma, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Bram Stoker. I love him. I really need to read Dracula. I really want to read Dracula. I own Dracula. I really need to read it because for the principle. Because I love Bram Stoker so much. And I need to read Sigma. Oh my gosh. And the other day, actually it was today, somebody mentioned, they were talking about Russian authors, and my ears perked up, and I was like, Russian authors, you say? Oh, I know a thing or two about that. And then somebody mentioned Nikolai Gogol, and I got so happy. Like, I didn't even say anything. I just heard this conversation of somebody bringing up Nikolai Gogol. Not in Bungo context, just in real life context. And I was so happy. And then I started drawing a picture of Gogol because it made me really, really happy. Man. I guess my top character has got to be Chuya, Octagawa. Probably Gogol really got me with, like, Dostoevsky's arm thing. That, like, really hit me. So, probably Gogol, Sigma, and Bram. But Gogo's probably the lowest of all of them. So it's probably Chuya, Akutagawa, Bram, Sigma. Yeah, that's probably the list. I'm probably going to speed up the video clip now. I'm going to be honest, I actually tried to speed up the video earlier, but I already recorded the voiceovers for those parts, so it didn't really work out because the editing went so weird and it just seemed like too much of a pain to fix it, so it's going to be slow. Well, not even slow, it's just going to be realistic paced, but I'm going to make this part faster now. These voiceovers, I hope they're not too whack. I'm not like writing anything down or making a script or anything. I'm just kind of yapping about whatever because I feel like that's more fun. But here we are. I actually really, really like how this drawing is turning out. I think I was a little bit nervous to get back into it because I was looking at the old drawings and I was like, man, I don't remember how I did those, so I hope I can do it again. It's definitely a little different from the other ones because this drawing of Kyōka shows a lot more of her body. All the other ones kind of just cut off at the waist. And same with Kenji, if you can see over on that one. He's definitely a little smaller than the other ones are because I guess I just kind of lost the hand-eye mobility thing, whatever it's called. I just forgot how it felt to draw them at that size, I guess, because when I drew them, it was just one after another. So I actually made Kyōka a little too much for showing, but I honestly am really happy about it because I was kind of sad when I looked at her and I was like, darn it, I really want to draw her cute little kimono. And then I actually ended up doing it anyway, so that's really fun. Oh, there I was outlining her, making it so their outline is nice and thick. I love doing that. I stole that from, I forget what her name is, but she always does, thick lines on the outside, thin lines on the inside, and I totally take that to heart. It's that random YouTuber. I think her name's, Mari Kyun or something. I used this, Barnes & Noble bookmark, actually. I just made little ticks on it in pencil, and that's what I outlined with. I also made a mistake right there, and I tried to cover it up with gel pen, and then I erased it, and then the gel pen came off, but that's okay. I fixed it. We're gonna do some light purple here, because that feels like a Kyōka color. And then this is nearing the end, because after I'm done outlining it, I just do the rest of it in the YouTube short, which I kind of need my phone for, and I fear I was recording this on my phone, which is likely why the video quality is really poor. But I'm mainly making this because my friend said that she would watch this if I uploaded it. So I did. We'll see if she was lying.